competition would be from NCAA to Summer League version of NBA?
It was great. Getting out early and competing again. I mean, yeah, like you said, last really competition was March Madness, so good to get back into that flow and back with this team and just build from it. But yeah, it was everything kind of I thought it was going to be, and just eye-opening and just building from everything that happened in the game.
Is it the longest you've gone without playing 5-on-5 competitive basketball?
Probably. I mean, there's so much stuff that's happened after March Madness where I was going through the draft, all that good stuff. I mean, we've been playing pickup and everything like that, but it's kind of different, actually going up and down and in live playing. But it was good. I'm glad to be back. So.
What's it like playing with Markquis? So you've spent a lot of time with him over the past few weeks. You've been saying, is it enjoyable to play with somebody who shows that amount of sort of flash out there?
Of course. I mean, he's a magician with the ball, and you saw it today with his crazy passes, his finishes, his shots. I mean, he had all around, amazing game, and that's a true point guard. And everything, I'm not really surprised, and it's kind of crazy to say just the fact that throughout his college, career, but to him to go out and with this competition level and a whole new step up and compete like that is a really good sign, not only for the team, but just for me playing off of that too. And it's really fun to see.
As somebody who's on the end of some of his passes, you gotta remind yourself to stay ready based on some of the angles he'll find.
Yeah, of course. I think working out with him these past couple of weeks in Toronto and at hotel and stuff like that, just getting used to playing with him. And like you said, when you always got to be ready, you're in the corner, and he may be looking 360-degree back to you. So yeah, just always be ready.
You mentioned eye-opening. What was eye-opening in your first pro game against other pros?
I think more just in the aspect of just being back on the court and getting back in that flow of playing and getting up and down. Because, I mean, you're conditioned playing pickup and getting back in shape, but it's a whole different kind of thing when you have the just excitement of actually playing again. And not as much as nerves, but it was more excitement, I feel, getting back on the court. And at the end of the day, it's just basketball. It's something I've been playing since I was a little kid, so it's just good to think of that in my head and just keep reminding myself of that.
Did you find it a little more physical than you're used to, or you got knocked down a couple of times and stuff? But I mean, did you find the level of play a little more robust?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to bring 110%. So I'm gonna find my way on the ground with random stuff, either and trying to make a layup or just dive on the floor for a loose ball. But that's not really too much of a change. But I think what's beneficial for me was playing in the Big 12 this past season and going over that competition level. And I mean, just knowing obviously there's going to be a whole step up with grown men out here. But I think that kind of helped me hit the ground running really when I went into this.
Walking out of the gym today, is there one thing that you think about or you focus on in terms of from game 1 to game 2?
Really just, I mean, it's early game. It's not even the season yet, so it's summer league and just really taking away things from this and learning, not getting down on yourself or anything. I mean, there's nothing really to because it's so early, but just getting back with the team, back in the hotel, and watching some film and fixing what we can fix and build that into the next games.
Excitement. Obviously, you had a stronger second half than the first half. Do you feel like going into the second game already, you're going to be a bit more, maybe calmer, just even approaching the game?
Yeah, I like to talk about I don't really want to call anything nerves, but at the same time, I'm coming into a whole different kind of area of the NBA level, and so it's more. I try to build that into my excitement. I've talked about that, but yeah, just kind of getting, I guess, that excitement, nerves, little butterflies out in the first game, but those really go away kind of on tip off. And but yeah, I'm gonna carry that into the next game, and I'm just build off what I can learn from this game.
He's a shooter, and the physicality, they're trying to push you downhill a lot of the time. When you go to the film, are you thinking slip, make the read, or are you still trying to work around getting maneuvering on the outside, the perimeter, kind of get your shot going?
It's kind of what the defense was doing. I'm going to kind of learn how the defense is guarding me this game, pushing up on me when I'm trying to come off screens. And so that's one thing I can take away is just getting my work done early as a shooter. Yeah, like I just said now, of finding what can really help you and get open. And so I think it's just for me. And in this game, I can definitely take away of being set early and then coming off the screens where I'm done early, and I can kind of create space in that way.
Coaching staff told you you might get targeted, this might be something they try and take away, this is something to look for?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I knew coming into it, I mean, based off my kind of college season, and coming in, a lot of guys are going to see me as a shooter, and which I am, so I'm going to obviously get a lot of pressure in that way, but yeah, I kind of knew coming into it, but it's just something I keep saying of what I'm going to learn from this and just build it into the next kind of summer league games.
For a shooter, for a guy like yourself who is going to get up a lot of threes and has had a lot of success, when they're not falling, how do you cue yourself to keep contributing and find other ways to make an impact?
I mean, I think it's just, I know I'm young, I'm 19, but the experience that I've had with, I've been shooting my whole life in practice gyms and in game moments, but I think it's just more of, I say it a lot of times, of just keeping that short-term memory. Obviously, there were some times when the air ball of it came down, and just keeping that short-term memory for getting the air ball and hitting that corner was good for my mental for sure. But just keeping that short-term memory and just knowing that these are the games where you learn a lot from, and I'm coming here working on new things really. So it's just stuff I'm building off of and going to transition into the next couple games.
The angle baseline, you didn't have vision on that. You threw that to nowhere, that lefty.
I seen Moses rolling. I mean, we worked on that for the past 3 days. We grew a chemistry, the past 3 days in practice. And I kind of know where he's going to be at on the court. And, I just felt like that was the easiest pass and the best way to get it to him. So that's what I did.
Big target.
Yeah, plus he's about 7'5", so it's a lot of space.
Not bad first game in Summer League. You led both teams in points, top of assists as well. You tied for that. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. I wish we would have got the win. The win is the most important thing, always for me. But it was a great experience. I just want to continue to keep building on this first game. I have 4 more games potentially, and I just want to win the next 4. I played good, but I feel like I could always play better.
What's the play better part? How do you build on this?
Just being a better leader, probably getting more assists, not turning the ball over as much. All those different things. I feel like I could have done better, which would have helped us win.
Is it important for you to show emotion out there, or is that just natural, you're not thinking about it?
That's just me. When I go out on the court, I just try to have fun. Try to play the game how I know how to play it, and just try to give my team as much energy, as I can. And when I'm out there, I show a lot of emotion. So.
Did you know your vet teammates were on the side when you were loading up the three-pointer, or
yeah,
or was that just they got no reaction?
No, yeah, I seen them over there the whole time. They were supporting and telling me things that they seen. I'm glad to see them, front row supporting, the Summer League guys, because we would have been there, if it was the other way around. So, it's a lot of love, a lot of support. Like I said before, we're going to continue to keep building on this game and try to stack some wins together.
It was like 17-9 to start the game. I think you had 3 or 4 assists in the pick and roll. They started blitzing a little bit more often. How much of a learning experience is that for you? You've obviously faced a ton of blitzes, but at this level, Summer League, maybe a little bit bigger bodies, a little bit more, quicker guys. What do you take away from that?
Just, reading the defense a little bit better. They started blitzing and having their hands up, which was getting deflected. My pass was getting deflected and, causing a turnover. So I'll go back, watch some film, see where I could be better at for next game.
What did you think of Gradey? I mean, just 19 years old, his first pro game, and how do you think he handled it?
I feel like he played good. Gradey is a tough critic on himself, so I know he probably said he wished he would have shot the ball better, but his overall energy and defense, was there. I mean, he's 19 years old. He still has a ton of experience to go, but I feel like he played good today.
And is he a guy who, do you see some of his movement? He's a guy, like he's not just drifting the three-point line. He'll go back door and things like that. He makes good reads.
Gradey is the ultimate winner. He'll do whatever it takes to win, whether that's diving on a loose ball, going out of bounds, cutting, with intent to score, shooting the ball. And you kind of seen all that, different attributes that he has in his game today. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna come back, the next game, prepared.
Are you getting used to looking for him in the corner in transition, or does he surprise you sometimes and take the lane if it's there?
That's just Gradey's game. I know where he's going to be at. I played him in college. I watched a ton of film on him, and we just gained that chemistry the past 3 days, when we were scrimmaging. So I kind of got the feel of where he wants the ball and, how he likes it.
If you watched a lot of film on him in college, teams trying to send him downhill, what do you say to him in the game when that's happening to him in a game like tonight?
I haven't spoke to him about it yet, but what I would tell him is just use your shot fake a lot more because he's a deadly shooter. Once he raises his defenders up, he can get to that one dribble, two dribble pull up, and just taking what the defense gives him. Not overdoing it with the dribble, just playing his way. And I'm pretty sure he's going to figure it out himself because he's a professional and he's a really good player.
Earlier in the game, you had a really nice fast break, but someone was trailing you, ended up going reverse and getting an and one. Can you walk me through what you were thinking in that moment exactly? What were your thoughts there?
So I got the steal, and I seen somebody coming to block my shot. When I'm in that situation, I know guys try to send my shot out of bounds. So I use the rim as extra defender and just scooped it in on the other side, and I work on those type of shots.
Is it nice to play with Gradey now? I mean, after competing against him, what was it like to play with him?
Man, it feels good. I mean, this is both of our first game, as a pro, and there's a ton of more games that we'll play with each other, and we're gonna continue to keep getting better and continue to keep building.
Coach, game one in the books. Biggest takeaway from what you were trying to get these guys to focus on and what you saw on the court today?
Yeah, I thought we actually had 3 really good practices, organized, detailed. I think the telling part right now, and I'm a big believer in watching the film, but if you just look at the box score, right, the turnover game offensively, and then the rebounding game for us was just a problem. We've talked about it, but something we just needed to go through as a team, unfortunately, today, and we'll watch the film, clean it up, and hopefully be better on Sunday.
Everybody's curious about your rookie. So first off, we saw a really hot start from your point guard. How did you feel he handled the pressure and the size?
Yeah, I thought actually, Gradey, Markquis, both those guys, I think a lot of people tend to look at the stat part of it, but they did a lot of good things on both ends of the floor. I know, Gradey didn't probably shoot the ball as well, but I'm sure he hasn't played, 5-on-5 besides this week, leading up to. So it's going to be a rhythm thing. But I thought the both of them, they brought good energy. We started the game really well. I think, I don't remember the score exactly, but both ends of the floor, we had a really good disposition about ourselves. We weren't able to sustain it. Fought our way back, hung around. That was, that's a positive that I look at. And as I said, so overall, I thought it was a really good performance for the both of them and things we can build on and learn from for both those guys.
I mean, three-point shooting is such a swing skill, and so when any three-point shooter, in this case Gradey, it's not going in the way it might or could. What things do you look at to see how he's otherwise contributing?
I'd say with the three-point shooting, first of all, I'll shoot the next one. Him, Joe, we got a lot of guys who can do that at a high level. The ball's not going in, but defensively, I thought he was super aggressive, super active. Was cutting off the ball. Sometimes for our group as a whole, not just Gradey, it was just making the simple play. I think when we got down a little bit, we kind of felt like, I'll get us one here, kind of try to re-energize the group, and when we didn't, it was kind of a little bit of an avalanche there in that second quarter. But our competitive spirit was great, and as I said, we look forward to watching the film, learning from it, and hopefully being better Sunday.
Do you think him, he's just 19 years old. Do you think he kind of felt it a little physically? These guys are a little bigger, stronger than what he's probably been up against before. I don't
want to speak for him in terms of that or what he felt out there. But there's layers to it, right? There's a screening part of it. There's a setup part of it. There's angles. All that stuff comes into play when you're trying to get somebody open. Again, I'll have to look at the film and look at that part of it to see where all the layers on the same page, and then why, sort of thing. And as I said, I'm sure he's disappointed that we didn't win because he's a competitor. But again, he did a lot of good things, and we spoke briefly after the game. It's going to be part of the process. We're excited to have him here.
I assume you've got to know the passes Markquis tries to throw, the passes he completes. I'm sure you'd like the completion percentage to get a bit higher, but how energizing is that sort of play style for the team?
Yeah, I think we spoke about it the other day. He's got a heart of a champion, right? The winner, he's got some flair to his game, and you got to coaching him. You got to allow him a little bit of that leash because it brings a lot more good than it does bad, sort of thing. So, but yeah, it brings an energy to our group, brings obviously an energy to the crowd. We could feel that as well. So, and we got to do things. I got to do things to help our group, especially offensively, try to find some cleaner looks, get better separation, get that ball moving and flowing from there. And we'll look forward to doing that on Sunday.
Defense, there were a few mistakes, but they often seemed like they were more proactive, like he's trying to beat the offensive read. Do you look at those types of mistakes as on the whole much better than something that's just kind of based on a lack of awareness?
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to be what we're doing, right, for our staff, for our players. It's it's coming together here in a couple practices sort of thing. There's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be mistakes, and Darko's mentioned that to us as well. We're going to have to play through them, and figure it out, and then understand the why part of it. Why did that occur? What can we have done? And the communication a lot, and then the effort level usually covers a lot of those things up. I thought we played super hard. A lot of those rebounding, the 50-50 balls, we get a hand on them. We didn't secure enough of them. And again, we'll look at the film and we'll try to be better someday.
Is there a focus going into tomorrow's practice at all that you're going to really hone in on?
I would just, start with the film piece and probably the rebounding, the physicality there. And it's not a one-on-one type of battle, right? Even rebounding it's a 5-person effort. And I'm not sure if we got that in live play watching it. But, as the players like to say, right, the ball doesn't lie. We as coaches like to say the film doesn't lie either, sort of thing. So we'll look at it and we'll see. But overall, I was happy with the effort that we gave, and I was happy that we kind of hung in there. Even when they kind of lost, I think they went up maybe 10 or 11 or something, our group didn't let go of the rope, found a way to kind of battle back in, hang in there. Obviously, would have liked to seen a couple more go in. I think we missed a couple free throws as well. That's sometimes the way it goes. We'll learn and we'll be better.